So I can hear you all shouting at the screen, where have you been? Where have you been? I know, I'm sorry, it's been a long time since my last post. Truth is, I've just been really busy over the summer. You'll remember that when I did my last post, we had abandoned the Round Britain challenge, got all the way down to Falmouth, had this wacky idea of shoehorning in a Round Britain trip, which was completely unrealistic and naive given all the sort of weather patterns, and yeah, got to Falmouth and decided to come back to the Solent. So I left off on the last post in the Solent. So this particular trip, I had two of my French friends who were lined up to fly into Gatwick to do some of the Round Britain trip with me. Of course, not happening. So I had to think of another little adventure to take them on, and we decided to go across the channel to Normandy. It's been a long time since I've been to the Normandy beaches. I think I was 18 or 19 when I last went there, so yeah, a long time ago. And I thought it'd be interesting, seeing they'd had the 50th anniversary there a year or so ago, and they'd redone all the museums and things. I thought it'd be useful and interesting to go and visit. So that's what we did. So the other thing is, if you hang on to the end of the video, I will give you a breaking news sort of update on where we are with the boats as well. So without much ado, let's jump into the Normandy trip. So here we are, working station, beginning of the journey. Just got a taxi here. It's 6 in the morning, and I'm just on my way to Gatwick to pick up the two frogs for our jaunt out for the summer sail. Yeah, so yeah, the plan for our trip over the next 10 days, when I've got the boys with me, is I'm going to try and go over to Cherbourg, leaving, probably going to stay in Poole tonight, go over to Cherbourg tomorrow during the day, get there in the evening, and then go around the Cherbourg Peninsula to Caen, and hoping to visit the Normandy Beach museums, and then probably come back this after the weekend and do a little bit of sailing in the Solent. Maybe go and see HMS Victory in Portsmouth, and yeah, then they go back on Thursday. So we've got about 9 days of sailing to look forward to. So it should be good, and a bit of work to do on the boat as well. There we are in Poole Harbour. We made it about lunchtime, spent all afternoon sorting the boat out. It was a bit of a mess, but ready to go, and I think we've got a plan. There are the frogs. We're just about to go out to dinner. We'll take them for a beer in Poole. I think nice English pub for them, and I'm going to go out for Italian. So yeah, it's a bit cloudy today, but it has brightened up a bit this evening. So plan we've got is to go into the Solent tomorrow, so a gentle start, leave about 10 o'clock and go into the Solent, go around through the Solent to the side of the Isle of Wight, and to do an overnight, well, an evening anchorage in Priory Bay, and then potentially go straight to Cannes, which estimated is about 90 miles, so it'll take us about 18 hours to get there. So if we leave at sort of midnight-ish, we should be there in about 6 o'clock tomorrow evening. So that's the plan. So here we are on the boat. It is 10:30 on Wednesday morning. I just finished to do a big shop. So in fact, just suddenly frogged off to go and get the beer and the tonic. The rest of the stuff we went to Sainsbury's at the top of the high street to stock up on, so we've got a couple of days food. Checked out on all the timings this morning for the crossing. So the plan is we're going to go up through the Solent today to overnight Priory Bay, and then tomorrow about midday we're going to set off for Caen. And it looks like there's a lock that goes in there, so timing is pretty critical. Opens at high water. Looks like high water there is about 7:30, so we're going to aim to be there about 7 in the morning, and there's a waiting pontoon so we can tie up there. So it's 90 miles, should take us about 18 hours, that's my estimate. So if we leave at midday our time, given that France is an hour ahead, then 18 hours will take us to 6 o'clock plus 1 hour, 7 o'clock we should get across there, and we should average about 5 knots. So that's the plan. So yeah, I'm just waiting for them to get back, and we're going to aim to head off about 11:30. So I'm just going to do engine checks, make sure everything's all right there, and then we will be heading off. Here we are out in the Solent, and we're just approaching cows, these cows, and we've actually got wind behind us. So for the first time ever, we've managed to get the asymmetric spinnaker up, which is quite a result. And we're doing about 4 knots with current behind it, but it looks really pretty. So I'm going to go to Bembridge tonight, which is probably about another maybe 2.5 hours, which is just as well, because the current will turn against us by then, so we'll get there all before that happens. And yeah, it's a beautiful day here out on the Solent. Sunny, pretty sunny, and the entrance to Beauty just over there, and that's Southampton water. So yeah, pretty. Funny story. Something frogged off this morning to get some beers, and came back with these. So we got loads of beers. God, basically ate 16 of these, and it turns out they didn't realise what the 00 stands for. So yeah, we've got alcohol-free beers for the next few days. Anyway, I suppose it's good for me, so I can't complain. So this is where we are at the moment. This is the Isle of Wight here, and it's cows at the bottom here. So we're just coming past here. We're going to go past Ryde, which is here, and Ryde Sands, and just around the corner to Bembridge, and we're going to anchor here in Priory Bay. So that's the plan. So it'll probably take us a couple of hours to get around there, and then we're going to stop there this evening, which should be about 6:30, and overnight there. Here we are, we're just leaving Priory Bay, where we spent the night last night, which is over there. That's the fort at Bembridge, and Bembridge Harbour just over there. We're leaving the Isle of Wight, and in theory our next stop is going to be Caen, which is 90 miles in that direction, which is about 18 hours. Got a headwind at the moment, which I don't think was forecast, so we're just motoring out, and we'll turn a little bit further west when we get around the end of the Isle of Wight to see if we can pick up a bit of wind close hold See if we can start sailing a bit, which would be nice. It's a bit of a sea, but a bit bouncy. You can probably tell from the camera, but not that bad. So yeah, looking forward to an overnight trip. Our biggest challenge is going to be the big boats going across the English Channel. I can see a few out there already, so dodging between those, see how frequent they are. Nice day, sun's just come out and it's forecast to be sunny for the rest of the day. This is the biggest challenge when crossing over the channel is dodging the big commercial vessels that are going backwards and forwards. There's quite a few of these, so we were relieved when it passed the shipping lane. It's 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock French time, and just arriving at Normandy, and you can probably see in the back there, there's the Brittany ferry which is going in just before us. So there's the ferry which arrives in the morning in Caen. And you see the beaches behind us. We're going to Ouistreham, which I think is just in front of us. There is a lock there, which we're reliably informed opens at 8 o'clock. So we've got about 6 miles to run, so we should get there about 7:15, and then we just need to wait for the lock to open so we can go through that in the canal to Caen, and then we obviously need to go through immigration. We are arriving at the port of Ouistreham, which is just the entrance of the canal to Caen, and you can see there the Brittany ferry is in, that's the Normandy. So that is in, not quite sure on the form here, there's a lock at the other side of the port, which opens I think at 8 o'clock now. 7:25, so I think there's a waiting pontoon where we can just tie up, wait for them to open the lock, and then we've got our Q flag up there, as thanks to Brexit we've got to go through formalities with the police, immigration, which is at the Gare Maritime. So I have to work that out as well once we've gone through the lock and checked into the port. So yeah, safely made it. So we left at 11 o'clock yesterday and we're arriving at 6:30 English time. There we go. This is the Brexit debacle. So we arrived at the port, checked in, and now we've got to go and show our passports over the other side of the river to go through immigration. Great. the arrival of the canal at Restaurant, and that is the lock gate behind us, and in front of us you can see the canal, which is beautiful, really nice. Very, very wide. I think I've seen a canal this wide before, to be honest. Quite not sure what they transported down here, but this is the canal, and we're just on our way down to Pegasus Bridge. Fishing fleet on there on the right hand side, tied up. So yeah, and a beautiful day to be doing it. On my way back from a shopping expedition to try and find some vital ice and gin and tonic. Closest supermarket was Lidl. We had no ice, so got everything we need for gin and tonics except for ice. So pretty important anyway. Good spot, centre of Cannes. So if you're going to see one thing in Normandy, then this would be it. This is Pegasus Bridge, which is probably one of the most daring missions of World War II, led by Major John Howard. 90 soldiers landed in 3 gliders just next to the bridge, and behind me you can see where they actually landed. You can see the bridge. So they landed here in Normandy at 16 minutes past midnight on the 6th of June, and one person died in the landing and one on the bridge, and they took the bridge in a total of 10 minutes. They took the bridge from 12 Germans who were sighted on the bridge. So the other 3 gliders landed at Horster Bridge, which is just a little bit to the east of here over the River Orne. So you've got the River Orne and the canal. This was the canal bridge, and then the other 3 gliders landed over the River Orne. So with another 90 men, they were the 2nd Battalion of the Ox and Bucks, and yeah, I mean, absolutely incredible feat. You can see where the 3rd glider landed. This is the pond at which one of them perished. The fuselage broke in 2 on the 2nd glider when it landed, and he went into the river and died, first victim of Normandy landings. So yeah, quite a memorial. You can see where these are points where they landed. They landed within 50 metres of the bridge up there, and where you can see the start of the bridge, there is a German machine gun emplacement on this side, and there were soldiers, sandbags on the other side. The 12 people, 12 soldiers, German soldiers, defended the bridge, and within half a minute of landing, the 30 soldiers from the 1st glider had attacked the bridge. They threw a grenade inside the machine gun emplacement and killed one. The other German fled. So they raced up the slope here to this side of the bridge, took out the machine gun emplacement, and then they proceeded to cross the bridge, and they ran across the bridge. There were sandbanks across the other side, soldiers and the sandbags across the other side of the bridge, and they managed to dispense with them, and Lieutenant Brotheridge was somehow killed on the way over, and he was the first man, so a soldier, to be killed in action, the Normandy landings. And that over there is the Café Gondry, which was the first house to be liberated in Normandy. And when they're over the other side of the bridge, a German soldier came out from behind it with a grenade, and they shot him dead. And then they proceeded to secure the bridge, but that wasn't the end of it. They had to hold off the German army, or German armour, which was based in Le Havre, so tanks, and the bridge was actually wired with explosives, and their first job was to take out the explosives, but in fact the Germans had already taken them out, so there was just the wire that was left there. So 90 men held this bridge. They were relieved or reinforced by 7 para at 3 o'clock in the morning on the 6th of June, and later on during the day by the commandos who landed at Sword Beach. And the purpose of taking the bridge was really for the purpose of holding the bridge to make sure that the Germans couldn't reinforce the landings in Normandy on Sword Beach, which was just up at Ouistreham. So yeah, you're going to come and visit one of the monuments. This is probably the most important and most famous. So this here is the gun emplacement that they actually took out, and you can see the other side of those flags where the glider actually landed, where that monument is there. So yeah, they ran up to there and neutralised the Germans. This is the original bridge, which was decommissioned in 1994 and put here in the museum. So this is a guided tour, and it's a museum there. Let's go and see what they've got to say on the bridge. This is a reproduction of one of the Horsa gliders here, and they were so fragile that they basically pretty much broke up on impact. And over there, you can see very well, fuselage of a real one. The original bridge, which was put here in 1994. So these are the memorials which contain the names of each one of the occupants of the gliders. This is glider 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. And on here you've got Officer Commanding Major Howard, and you also got to the top there Lieutenant Brotheridge. He was the first one who died in the landings. First official casualty, killed by enemy fire. And out here, this is a Bailey Bridge, which is a bridge that was constructed by the Royal Engineers quite frequently. Out here is where all 7 para were landed, about 300 of them out here, and they were instructed to make their way to Pegasus Bridge to reinforce 2nd Battalion Ox and Bucks who were there, and they made it about 3 AM in the morning. They reinforced them, and once they'd secured the 2 bridges, code word apparently was ham and jam. That was what was sent on the radio, and that meant the 2 bridges were secured and that they would hold them against the German armoured divisions and the SS soldiers who were billeted locally. There we are. It is Monday morning, about 8 o'clock. Already been to the see the customs, cleared our passports, and we're going to get the 9 o'clock lock out of here, so I can go back to the Isle of Wight. The forecast is a bit dodgy, but seems to have improved a bit. It's overcast, cloudy. Not sure if it's going to rain. It may rain. And it looks like we've got about 20 knots of wind on the way home, so should be a quick journey back on the beam. So it's a good old place we've had here. So on the visitors pontoon just behind me, see Dunny there coming out, and yeah, nice spot, highly recommended. And we've had a nice few days here, enjoyed it. So ready for the off. Yeah, so this was a bit of a disaster. As we were leaving the lock, we couldn't stop the engine revving, and yeah, one of the parts in the throttle mechanism ended up snapping, so we had no motor, so we were forced to sail all the way back to the Solent. Here we are, about 22 miles out. So far it is going pretty well. Here we are doing about 5 knots. About sort of 12-15 knots of wind, so it's almost not a rear quarter. So far, so good. Stays like this, and the sea's sort of alright. It always makes a big difference when you're sailing with the sea. So, yeah, the only thing we have had is as we left Oostrum, we throttle got stuck. So I took that apart and it broken a bit in the accelerator cable, so yeah, organised to see somebody on Wednesday morning, so we just need to limp into Lymington on Tuesday, so we'll see how we go. absolutely. Bit of an exciting trip. The first part, coming out of Normandy, was absolutely fine up until the travel separation zones, which were also pretty good. But after that, wind picked up and we had gusting 30 knots of wind, 2 reefs in, a small handkerchief on the front, and it was a bit bouncy, quite a lot of big waves as well, but we made it. We got here about 5 in the morning. It's now 10 o'clock, so we put our heads down for a few hours, and we are just probably a couple of hours time when the tide changes. We're going to try and tack up the Solent, but it's pretty windy. We've still blown about 20 knots in, I think. So we're going to try and tack up the Solent to Livington. We've got a rendezvous with a chap there at 8:30 tomorrow morning to sort out this broken accelerator cable on the engine. We still use it a little bit, but not very much. So I'm hoping that it's alright to go into the marina and get tied up there, but we'll see. So yeah, forward to another tasty day sailing. We are close tooled up the Solent. Goes over there. And that is the entrance to Southampton Water, with a big container ship going in. Here we got wind just off the nose, 10 knots of wind, did about 4 knots. So here we are back in Livington. It is a beautiful morning with the sun over the Solent. Tide's out at the moment, so as you can see here it's quite low. Wasn't our intention to be here, but we pulled in here with a rendezvous with the mechanic this morning. He's going to come at 8 o'clock, 8 to 8:30 he said, to sort out our broken engine controller. So hopefully it turned up on time, and then our plan is to pull out of here with the last tide going westwards, and then onto Christchurch. We're going to should get there about 6 o'clock this evening, and you're going to have to wait about 3 hours until tide's high enough to go into Christchurch. So I think high tide tonight in Christchurch is about midnight, and I'm hoping we can get in at last light, which will be probably about sort of 9:30, 10 o'clockish. So yeah, we shall see how we get on. Right,
Hey,
we've arrived. We've arrived. We had a few close moments, and we're now back in Morey on Christchurch. Yeah, a few
ouais, c'est ça, c'est un épervier pour faire partir les mouettes pour pas qu'ils nous chiffrent.
few hairy moments
Sur le gazon, je pense. Il doit y avoir un vrai gazon.
coming in,
Coupé aussi.
and we had about 40 centimetres under the keel and pitch black. Don't worry. We are back in Christchurch in the daylight. Following day, we are just tidying the boat, doing a bit of cleaning, packing up bags, and we've got a absolutely, well, it's not chucking it down, but it's just miserable, to be honest. We saw this weather was coming and made the decision to come in here early last night rather than I was going to go over to to pull over to Studland and then come back over this morning, but it's going to be pretty miserable, so I'm glad that we decided not to do that. So this is the mooring we've got on the river. Quite some posh houses around us, and just got the tender out to blow that up so we can go ashore. I think we're going to go and have lunch, little cafe on the side of the river there. I think we're going to have lunch there, and then we'll walk up to the train station, which is about 15 minutes walk. So probably go over there about 12:30 or something like that, and then have lunch. But yeah, it's pretty miserable, but we've had a good, all in all, we've had a good week. Just having a bit of a tidy up. Here we are, just finished, bad lunch, just in the Tupton tea rooms, and we are just now walking to the station, which is about a 15-minute walk. It's been absolutely pissing down this morning, so it's just stopped. So we're a little bit early for the train, but we're just taking the option to get a move on. Yeah, so I said I'd give you some breaking news. So the news that I have to impart with you is that Mini Mojo has gone. Yeah, a bit bonkers, I know. I was just sort of contemplating all the bits and pieces that I had to do over the winter, and looking at the cost of sort of storage, and going back over to the Caribbean to bring Big Mojo back. And I thought, you know, let's see how we get on. So I didn't go through an agent. I went through a private seller's channel, boats.com, listed the boat for sale. I imagined it would take, you know, months to sell. And lo and behold, a few days after I'd listed it, I had an email from a chap who was just around the corner from Christchurch, really interested in the boat and desperate to come and see him. So I agreed to go down and see him at the weekend. I went down on a Sunday, met him on the boat, showed him around the boat, spent about an hour looking around the boat, going through all the bits and pieces. And at the end of that conversation, I said, you know, go away and think about it. And he produced 3,000 quid from his pocket and said he didn't want to go away and think about it. He wanted to do the deal seeing he was there. So he put me on the spot a bit, and we did the deal. So yeah, I mean, I spent a lot of money on that boat. I was a little bit naive when I bought it. I didn't do a survey. I didn't really think about all the things there were to do on it. There were a few sort of unexpected issues as well. So I ended up spending probably about 20 grand on the boat after having bought it. I did negotiate the sale quite well, but given all there was to do, probably in hindsight not well enough. But anyway, the reality is Mini Mojo has gone. He completed within a week of handing over his deposit, and it is no longer mine. So I had to empty the boat and hand over the keys. So where we are at the moment, we're now just the beginning of December. I've got a trip in a few days out to Grenada, so I will make a post on that trip. It's really a sort of an exploratory trip to make sure the boat's okay, and also do a bit of maintenance, do a bit of servicing on some of the bits I've got to do for the boat, and see the people in the boatyard to talk about some of the work that I want them to do. So yeah, it's now Sunday and I leave on Wednesday. So yeah, a few days. I need to pack up a whole load of stuff that I am taking out there to sort out when I'm there. So yeah, I will, within the course of the next sort of week or so, post a video on that.